back to Watch the Time. So today I've got another Pagani Design. It's the PD-1670. You're going to be able to see it for yourself. It's an OP homage. That's about as much as I'm going to say. Looks pretty decent, to be honest. Again, Pagani Design, as they tend to, they brought out another range of watches where they're homaging other watches, should we say. And again, a couple of improvements. The one thing I will say right off the jump off is that I do quite like the case back. I do like the fact that for many people, exhibition case back is the way to go, and I tend to agree. I like to see the movement, but it is an NH35 movement, so not the most spectacular movement to look at. And the deep etched engraved case back is an improvement for me, because they tended to sort of hammer the exhibition case back. So the fact they put something else in it, on the back of it, excuse me, is preferable. But I'm not going to keep going on. I tend to realise that my intros are getting longer and longer. But I do appreciate you all tuning back in. I do hope you enjoy the video and the watch. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. As I said in the brief intro, it's the Pagani Design OP Oyster Perpetual Homage. I'm just going to say it. Yeah, so this is the packaging that came in. I didn't actually pay for the packaging to come as the more sort of premium packaging. It comes with an outer cardboard sleeve. I'll put that to the side, and then you're left with this quite a nice sort of leather-ish box that it comes in. You open it up. It did come with an additional NATO strap. That I don't really like NATO, so that'll be no use to me. It does also come with a user instruction guarantee manual thing, guarantee card, and it also came with an additional tool, which was a screwdriver, although I did find it to be slightly too wide to be able to use it, so that was a bit hopeless, but no problem. I had a few screwdrivers and stuff kicking about, so it wasn't a problem. Then you're left with the obligatory cleaning cloth that you get, tang, and I've taken 3 links out, and they are screw pins, so it was quite easy, and hence why they attempted to supply me with a screwdriver, although it was substandard. But let's take it off the cushion very quickly. But like I said, the packaging is quite nice. It comes with quite a nice material inside. Can't complain about the packaging. As I say, I didn't ask or buy it with this. I went for the generic one because it was slightly cheaper, but they sent it anyway, so thank you very much. And then this is the watch. So I said the model number wrong in the brief intro. The model number isn't PD-1670. I'm sure you spotted the mistake, and I did also put writing underneath. But the model number is actually PD-1690, which refers to this watch. The movement inside, which you won't be able to see because they've now gone for a deep etched, laser etched case back on the back, but it is a Seiko NH35 movement. Date variation. You've probably seen this movement in countless watches at this point in terms of AliExpress and micro brands and stuff. The whole construction, so that's fixed bezel, crown, case back, solid end links, bracelet and clasp, all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of this watch is 11.4 millimeters. The case diameter going from the 8 to the 2 is 39.4 millimeters, and when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it does become 42.6 millimeters. The lug width is 20, and the lug to lug, tip to tip is 49.1, but it does have quite long male protruding male end links of the center link, so it does become 52.7 millimeters. The case back style, as I've already showed you, is screwed down and just sort of deep etched. I'll try and face it the right way. There you are. It just looks like a mountain, and then you've got the Pagani logo just in there also. The bezel's fixed, high polished bezel, and you do have a screw down crown, which is also signed with the Pagani logo, which you've probably seen numerous times before. Given the fact it is a bit of the construction of the case is high polish, it's going to be a fingerprint magnet, so I do apologise if that comes across in the video. And as I said, the crown is screwed down. I've unscrewed it just to make it easier for myself. The strap material obviously is stainless steel, and it is all brushed. The sides are polished, but the tops are all brushed. Not to a bad standard, and as you can clearly see, they are screw pins that sort of make it quite easy, to be honest, in terms of changing the bracelet. That was not a problem at all. The clasp is very generic from Pagani Design in terms of them copying the Rolex style. It doesn't have the diver's extension, but they do have, if you bear with me, just a sort of a little bit of a diver's extension just to make it a little bit longer, but there's no sort of on the fly adjustment which you get with some of these watches. Oh, very stiff, excuse me. And then, like I said, there's the clasp signed. It does have a hinge to make it quite easy to undo. I know some of these watches don't tend to, but there is a hinge there, just makes it easy to engage. But yeah, so that's the clasp. The crystal covering that dial is a sapphire crystal, and it is a bit of flat sapphire crystal on there. Pretty cool. The water resistance to this watch, I don't know if you can make that out down at the 6 o'clock position, but it is a 200 meter water resistant watch. So yeah, you could take this swimming and stuff. I wouldn't be a problem. It won't be certified to any extent, but it says it's 200 meters and it's all screwed down, all the elements. So you probably should be able to take it swimming if you wish. So that's 200 meters, 20 atmospheres of water resistance. The weight of this watch will appear in the top right hand corner. So it's in and around 146 grams, give or take. But let's have a look at the dial now in a bit more detail, guys. So what you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Every hour you've got a sort of like a spot just to outline the fact that it's every hour. You don't have it down at a 6, you just got Japan movement outlining the fact it's a Seiko movement. Just inside that you've got applied battens, excuse me, everywhere. You've got inverted triangle at the 12, double battens at the 6 and 9, and singular battens everywhere else except for the 3 o'clock position where you've got the date window. Just below the inverted triangle at the 12 o'clock, you've got Pagani Design. Let me just move it out quickly so you can see. So you've got Pagani Design, the logo and script writing. Down above the double batten at the 6, you've got I think it says PT time. Don't know what that means, Pagani something. Automatic, 20 bar, 200 meters, just outlining what I've said about the water resistance being 200 meters. If you take it all the way out, as you saw a moment ago, it does hack. Put it all the way back in. You can hand wind it, as I did a moment ago again, just to give it some juice. You take it into the first position, and you can just scroll through the date as you wish, and then put it back in, and then you can screw it back up. So I will screw it back up now. I did unscrew it before just to make my life that bit easier. There is no problem with the knurling though. Excuse me, it is fine. There's no problem with the knurling. It does engage very nicely, and I will show you a lume shot at the end just so you can get an idea, because the hands and the battens are all lume filled, so it does have a decent level of lume on there. But let me just pop it on the wrist for you guys very quickly. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist. For your reference, as you saw, I did take 3 links out, and that's how it looks on my wrist. Wears very well actually. Good, decent size, decent proportions, and yeah, but you'll also see it in daytime shots, which I've done outside at the end or near the end of the video, as I always do. But yeah, that's what it looks like on my wrist. But that will now take me on to what I think is pants and pukka about the watch. As we always do, we start with pants. I like to go on a high with pukka. So I don't know if this is going to bring it up on my. I'll zoom in very quickly. So what you have at the 3 o'clock position, obviously you've got the date window. I don't know if you can make that out. The date window just looks a bit strange. It's kind of indented in some way, so it just adds a really weird aesthetic to the watch. When you look at it, I thought there was a problem with the glass a couple of times, but so yeah, that's what you normally get. It's just a bit of a weird sort of way to do the date window, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure why they've done it like that, but yeah, that's the date window. The micro adjustment, in terms of what the levels of micro adjustment they give you, there's supposed to be 3 levels that you can use inside, but that looks a right nightmare to try and get into that, to be honest with you. You have to open up the diver's extension. You've got to find a tool that's small enough to fit in there. Yeah, that is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. I don't know why they've done that. And then with the links, they're a bit stiff in places. As you can see that it doesn't want to flop down. Bit of Q issue with a couple of the links. So yeah, just be minded of that. You have got the obligatory QC issues that you'll sometimes get with Pagani Design. So just to surmise what I think is pants, I'd go with the date window, I would go with the micro adjustment and the QC in terms of the links. What I think is pukka, I'll go with the hands. I don't know if you can make this out also, but they are sort of like, they're engineered in such a way where it's sort of like, it plays with the light because it's split down the middle of the hands, which I think is really, really nice and really, really cool. Yeah, I actually really like that. So the hands, I'll go with the sapphire crystal. I'm sure you guys would have guessed I was going to say sapphire crystal. The crown, the engagement, and in terms of, yeah, I think it's done really well. Good size, easy to deal with. The case back, yeah, like I said, deep etched. I do like the fact they've gone for something different as opposed to just the exhibition case back on all their watches. They've definitely given some consideration to the deep etched case back. Is a cool feature. The bracelet, in terms of the adjustment, obviously had a few QC issues with a couple of links, but in terms of sizing the bracelet and generally how it feels, it doesn't feel too bad. That aside, and the fit and finish of the watch, actually for a Pagani Design, this is a big improvement upon their other Pagani Designs that I've had in. So yeah, definitely onwards and upwards from Pagani Design. So just to surmise what I think is pukka, I'll go with the hands, I'll go with the sapphire crystal, I'd go with the crown, I'd go with the case back, the bracelet and links generally, and the fit and finish of the watch in terms of what I think is pukka. And would I recommend this watch? So yeah, I would actually. I'm actually quite impressed with it. You pick it. There's a couple of color variations, and the price is generally pretty tight in terms of Pagani Design. So I would definitely advise you to pick one of these up. I will leave an affiliate link in the description, just taking you to the watch. Doesn't cost you any more, just helps out the channel and makes your life a little bit easier. But guys, let me know what you think about this watch and maybe other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care guys, all the very best.